It's the middle of a quiz. A phone buzzes under a desk. A teacher stops, walks over, holds out a hand, and the same quiet tug of war plays out again. Just like it does in almost every classroom, every period, every single day. And that's the problem we set out to fix. Good day. We are STEM 12 Efficients Group 2. And this is our capstone research, Project Lock-in, an IoT-based QR code and camera-enabled smartphone organizer with app-controlled access and real-time teacher monitoring for ICCBI classrooms. Let's start with why this problem is bigger than it looks. In July 2026, the Department of Education released DepEd Order number 006, banning the use of mobile phones during class hours to protect student focus and classroom discipline. But enforcing this ban is harder than it sounds. Teachers who collect phones by hand lose valuable class time and deal with constant arguments. Students sometimes insist they already returned their phone, and there's no way to prove otherwise. And once phones are collected in a box or bag, teachers have no way to stop students from quietly getting them back mid-class. Some existing systems try to solve this. Udin's 2025 Smart Pigeonhole system uses RFID or biometric locks with weight sensors for each student's storage slot. But giving every student separate hardware gets expensive. Isticoma and colleagues built an automated gate that checks QR codes against a database. But theirs was made for housing security, not classrooms. Project Lock-in takes ideas from both, but simplifies them into something schools can actually afford. One shared rack with a single locking gate, QR code scanning, and individual iris sensors per slot. A photo verification, and everything is reported to teachers in real time. And this supports SDG 4 Quality Education and SDG 9 Industry, Innovation, and Infrastructure.
Our study is guided by 6 questions. SOP1 asks how the system can be designed using IR sensor, QR scanning, an app-controlled lock, and a camera. SOP2 asks how the system identifies two printed QR cards. SOP3 asks how it captures timestamp photo verification of every event. SOP4 asks how it alerts teachers in real time through a monitoring app. SOP5 asks how accurate and reliable the system is. And SOP6 asks how users rate the system functionality, reliability, and usability.
For each of these 6 questions, we review about 15 related studies. In each part of our presentation, we walk through the top 5 most relevant studies for each SOP, including method, instrument, each one used, with the summarized along with.
SOP1 asks, how can a smartphone organizer be designed using slot-level IR sensors, QR scanning, an app-controlled lock, and a camera module? First, Udin's 2025 Smart Pigeonhole study used RFID or biometric locks with weight sensors and found the setup cut the time and conflict of manual phone collection. Second, Shandarapa and colleagues built a Smart Locker 2.0 prototype combining IoT, machine learning, RFID, sensors, and a camera, improving security, authentication, and real-time monitoring. Third, Isticoma and colleagues use a GM66 QR code scanner module for their automated barrier gate, which granted entry only to verified accounts.
Fourth, Jonathan and colleagues built a locker prototype using dynamic QR codes, IoT, MQTT, and an OLED display letting multiple users share one system and cutting handover time to under 5 minutes. And fifth, Handash and colleagues uses a Node MCU ESP8266 based locker with a KTP RFID combination, RFID, and 100% authentication accuracy. We also reviewed 9 more studies in the space, smart lock mechanism from Adenine and OE2 QR lock, and Hamza and colleagues automated sealing cabinet. Added security layers like Sugar and colleagues, dual camera RFID locker, and MISAT and colleagues multi-factor safe entry system. Identity-based access from Alscience and colleagues facial recognition locker, and Rahayu and colleagues QR library locker and modular practical style design from Goda and colleagues, Singa and colleagues, and Wu and Tan. The GAP, most existing systems give each user separate hardware. Project Lock instead uses one shared rack with per slot IR sensors, proven accuracy at a fraction of the cost.
SOP2 asks, how will the system identify and record students who deposit and retrieve their phones through a individual printed QR cards? First, Ibanez and colleagues built a QR-based gate scanning hardware and software for a Philippine public high school, improving accuracy and cutting manual recording errors. Second, Gupta and colleagues built their attendance system using Python's QR codes and Pillow libraries, OpenCV, and Firebase real-time database, validating each user's code and preventing duplicate entries. And third, Ideal conduct a interview to define system requirements for QR-based students' ID card, enabling faster identification and easier retrieval.
Fourth, Pradip and Vijay Kumar built their smart identity card system using Microsoft Visual Studio and SQL Server, outperforming handwritten and barcode-based systems. And fifth, Badria and Barry Shandy connected a QR scanner to a membership database, making check-in verification faster and more efficient. We also review 11 more studies from baggage and storage security like Subash and colleagues, luggage kiosk and Blank 4 and colleagues VMAT system to identifications technology such as Nguyen and colleagues, YOLO 10 ID extraction and Wang and colleagues biometric verified scanning to access and transaction system from Johanna and Pruta, Collins and Hartigan Go and colleagues and library or community system for Carlos and Mojares, Madrison and Harun, Teleron and colleagues and Galera and Salvador. The GAP knew none of these were the QR scan with a physical storage action, locking links each printed QR card directly to a specific slot and device.
SOP3 asks, how will the system capture timestamp auto verification of each deposit and retrieval event? First, Islam and Mahmoud's Veriguard system use an ESP32CAM ESP8266 node MCU and an MFRC522 RFID reader, capturing image and timestamp accurately across 200 test cases. Second, Mahfoudi and colleagues uses an ESP32 microcontroller with ESP32CAM and Bluetooth module, capturing and uploading a photo on every axis in just 1.75 to 4.74 seconds. Third, Simple and college use an ESP32CAM ultrasonic sensor load cell and line notify detecting and parcel in sending notification quickly and accurately.
Fourth, Harrison and Zainal use an ESP32CAM for face recognition, a magnetic door lock recognizing authorized user and sending notification on unlock. And fifth, Hadayani and colleagues use an ESP32CAM with ultrasonic sensor and a PIR sensor detecting cards and counting deposit packages automatically. We also reviewed 10 more studies camera-based. Recognition from Nordos and El Noraz. Every day, that devices like Data's BookBot, Muhammad Zamri's Smart Mailbox, and Palkan and Bazaar. Home monitoring security system from El Fari, IFCAT, and Amen. And retail or classroom monitoring from Shah and Muziyama. The gap, this study from the ESP32 camp is first and reliable. For proof of action, the same principles Slotkin applies every deposit retrieved.
SOP4 asks, how will the system provide teachers with real-time update and alerts through a remote monitoring app? First, Lalapati and colleagues use an Arduino Uno ESP32CAM PIR sensor and SMTP email alerts detecting motion and sending automated notifications in real time. Second, Ojo and colleagues use IoT sensors and a microcontroller-based monitoring unit relying classroom activity to a monitoring interface in a real time. Third, Pratama colleagues focus guard system use a classroom camera, Arduino Uno, and image processing, monitoring activity, and generating automatic alerts for low-end engagement.
Fourth, Quercy and colleagues propose of the IoT device with sensor and 5G communication, improving data delivery and response time for school monitoring. And fifth, Gadade and colleagues use an RFID reader, ESP32 microcontroller, GPS module, and Google Sheet, giving real-time monitoring with automated attendance recording. We also reviewed 10 more studies, campus safety alerts from Ali Imran, Rus Ocampo, and Bail and Yara, home monitoring from Hidayah, Hasid, and Akib, and Mangali Likhata, and classroom tools like Dickler's Teacher Dashboards, Nuevas ACMS System, Mondal's Notice Board, and Pautan's K-12 Tracker. The GAPDIS system alerts on general activity, not a specific compliance event. Lockings up alerts are tied to each individual's deposit or violation.
SOP5 asks how effective and reliable the system in QR scanning accuracy, IR slot, detection accuracy, lock response time, and photo capture reliability. First, Satanasawa Pak and colleagues use QR scanner, Android app, NetPi, and Lime messaging, reaching 70% scan accuracy. An average access speed of 5.63 seconds. Second, Nauros and colleagues benchmark the ESP32 CAM module using Node-RED and HTTP streaming, finding a frame rate above 50 frames per second and stable thermal performance. Third, Adedoyan and Olukuya built a smart lock prototype using an ESP8266 QR scanner, LCD, and solenoid lock, authenticating users in 2.00 seconds.
Fourth, Apriardi and Anshuri use a Node MCU ESP8266 relay module and Blink app responding in 1.1 seconds on average and working reliably up to 11 meters away. And fifth, Bachani and colleague compared an LDR sensors and IR proximity sensors, finding IR sensors more reliable for slot occupancy detection. We also reviewed 10 more studies. Protocol testing from Sakif and Adabo, attendance and ID accuracy from Masalha, Muhammad, and Mina. Environmental monitoring from Patejo Corjo, Austria, and Jiang, and access sharing and imaging from Sang Pak and Farfan Prado. The gap. These numbers become our benchmarks. Lock-in's testing phase will compare its own scan, accuracy, and response time against these figures.
SOP6 asks, how do users rate the system in functionality, reliability, and usability using a 5-point Likert scale? First, Barillo and colleagues use QR authentication, a Raspberry Pi, and a 5-point Likert questionnaire. And users rated the system 4.31 for functionality and 4.28 for accuracy. Second, Ogaub and colleagues used validated 5-point Likert scale survey, and users rated the locker outstanding in accuracy, reliability, efficiency, and durability. Third, Velasco evaluated an Arduino Uno RFID system using ISO 25010, and students and IT experts gave consistently high acceptability ratings.
Fourth, the Abordo and colleagues used a functional testing checklist, the system usability scale, and ISO or IEC 250102023, and the system scored 81.25, a good usability rating. And fifth, Perrin ran a mixed methods case study using ISO 25010 usability testing, and the system was rated functional, easy to learn, responsive, and efficient. We also reviewed 10 more studies. Attendance systems from Salak Nguyen, Agrippa, and Vanessa. Acceptance research from Victor, Igbyodion, and Alameda. Transaction systems from Noviani, Maratu Tiran, and Galeria and Salvador. And blocker evaluation from Henry and colleagues. The gap is that the locker and QR systems consistently earn high Likert ratings when they work as intended, which is the same standard our own evaluation aims to meet.
Bringing this all together, the literature shows us a few things. First, proven building blocks. QR scanning, IR sensing, ESP32 cam capture, and app-based alerts each work reliably on their own in prior studies. Second, a missing combination. No study we reviewed links a shared rack, QR, IR, and camera design specifically to classroom phone compliance. Third, a clear benchmark. Lacquer and QR-based systems in our SOP5 review consistently score 4.2 and above on functionality and reliability, which sets the standard our own evaluation aims to meet. And finally, our contribution. Project Lock-in merges disproven parts into one low-cost classroom-ready system built for DepEd's no-phone policy. And these are the references we use for our study. Thank you for listening.